What's going on, guys? Brandon from Boiler Trading. Time for another small account recap update. So let's take a peek at some of the P&Ls here. Today, another $150 day. We've been stacking up base hits day after day after day here. 100 here, 150 here, 120 here. Only one red day so far. We put about $1,400 in the cash account here, just a scalp and day trade in and out of, and we are up 763 on the year. So for as many days as I've traded, maybe 16 days or so, it's roughly $50 a day ish. So yeah, working out pretty good. Right now, so let's go for some recaps. Tesla did $150 today, and I missed a $900 trade call that I made today. Pretty sad. That would have been the first home run on the small account here. So let's talk about it. So we're looking at Tesla here. On the opening bell here, of course, we got the gap, right? Well, let's start on the daily. We got the gap, right? Everybody's staring at the gap. All we're doing is looking at the body range for a pop or drop. Well, we opened up and we're going for the gap. So we either get a bounce here or break and fill and panic out, right? So the first one we took is a put. And these were very volatile. These were slapping back to minus red 50 PNL, plus 200 PNL, slapping all over the place. And we took it pretty early for that pop here. So third minute candle breakdown, popped, I guess, as a little bit. It was like minus 150 or so, not a big deal. Closed back under, started rejecting. We held it for about 5 minutes or so. Let me see the exact fills on here. Just so we can get them. Yeah, $10.25 fill. So $1,025 used of the buying power, and then $12 out. So $175 winner there for the first little round on that put. And that was a 560 put. Yeah, so 560 this week expiration, still super volatile. IVs are super high, so these spreads are going to be all over the place. But either way, then I put a limit order out for 12. We got super legs that I thought we were going to break here, and I'm like, well, we're only going to stack up base hits. We're not going to go for the big home run on Tesla real early because anything can possibly happen. So we took a $10.25, which is $1,025 on the small account for that one contract, broke through the gap, hit the pre-market low, and I put a limit order out for a $12 fill just to see if I could get a snap and a fill for a quick little $175, and we did. And then it filled, snapped. Next candle opened up and reversed right away. So right when we seen that, we seen it recover the gap level, yesterday's lows, and right up into the 200 EMA. I got long right away on this red candle here at 841. So this is the big miss on the trade. We took a call at $9.25 for a 565 call. 841.23, so right in here, came back down, was a little red, and I'm like, okay, no big deal, and it kind of shattered down here, so I put a order out to fill me back at $9 to stop out at red, right? So I'm like, okay, no big deal. Came slapping down, it jumped my order on this candle right here at 842, so it went, all the spreads jumped right to, for a stop with $8.20 by 860, whatever, jumped right over my 9 and nothing happened. I'm like, oh man. So, well, I'm still bullish on it, down to about 100 something now, no big deal. We'll go to cancel the order because I'm still pretty firm believer in the volume coming in. So I go to cancel the order to stop out at 9, and it fills right before I can cancel it. So we did get stopped out at 9, even though it jumped the order, which, I don't know, it happens, plat issues or whatever, doesn't really matter. So either way, stopped out here for $25 red, even though I went to go cancel it, and then the big squeeze happened, and some of these option prices that we did purchase for $9.25 ended up near $18. So again, a $900 home run miss, not a big deal. We're still stacking up the green, can't be mad about a green. So that was a Tesla debacle. I had a good early short, a little risky, and then a huge long call, but I did miss that one. So it is what it is. The Apple, I took out some short Apple strikes here, our credit spreads here, for 315 under 315. So the initial dump this morning, I just did get out for an $8 red, something like that. Yeah, I wanted to get out of this one real fast, so there's not a lot to talk about on this one, but our Apple call here, for the higher lows for the opening price and the split, we're over-undering that 317.25 split again. So you can see that big resistance stacking up, starting to wedge higher lows, broke up, confirmation of strength, another break up. This is real shaky, but we're still creating higher lows. This trend is still working out okay. This is probably going to be another consolidation day. If it starts to let go of the split and the market corrects a little bit more, so we can take a peek at that market, because we are facing that quote-unquote new SARS coronavirus here, and it continues, wants to go down and just kind of chop the rest of the day and wave. Apple will do the same unless we get some speed or catalyst to the downside. Next one I want to go over is Shop. Real tiny winner there on the other margin, $30 winner. Called the long just out of here, this consolidation. Called it here, unfortunately missed the big squeeze, started talking about Netflix and some other stuff we were talking about. Held the 100 EMA yesterday's close and rebuttal. We wanted a dip down to here first, and then of course it rebutted a little earlier. We got the bullish cross up here. So yesterday's lows held, yesterday's close, 100 EMA called along here, big squeeze, missed it. So I got the secondary little tiny base hit for a $30 winner on the small account. On the margin side, puts it at minus 1823 because of the Apple and Amazon spreads we closed out, but that's for teaching purposes. That's not even a real red. That doesn't even matter. So after this higher low formed here, we started putting out some limit orders for, was it 75 something? 475, yeah. So 475 call, put a limit order out for a $3 breakout fill, which it didn't dip, we didn't get anything, so it kind of snapped up a little bit. So we took that $3 on the ask, just bought the ask in this consolidation, watched it go back, forth, create these higher lows off of the big support we had marked at, what was that, 467, 469-ish? I can't see anyway, this text is small. Which I need that big scaling, and I need these charts to be able to come super far out and everything be real tiny to get that scale of the chart. It helps me trade. So unfortunately, some of the people can't follow along as well, but I mean 4K TVs are extremely cheap. Do the little zoom option there. There's a couple different options for you there, but took this little breakout here, put a 30-cent limit order out for the breakout, took it. Got the pop up, is hovering around 330, 320 spread, then one little tick more up. We got that 330 fill. So a little base hit there on the old shop there for $3 and 330 out. So all in all, despite the $8 red spreads, we're still looking at just under a $200 day with that base hit and the scalping here. So yeah, not a bad little start. And the margin account is funded and going. So we're just testing some credit spreads, and I was doing some teaching stuff. So that little red 80 something will get deleted, and we'll smash out some home run hits there as well. Get that back to green, no problem. So that's a little small account update for you. Let's go over some notes that we had today. Now, of course, these notes, I do trade live every day with Boiler Room Trading here, and these are the notes I do post an hour, if not more, ahead of time. So 7:08 a.m., an hour and a half before market open today. I just want to go over a couple of ones that I didn't cover here. Now, the BA, we're watching for that retrace long to 308.60s hold, watching for a rollover then to short 300. But the bias swap we talked about for a long, we wanted that big pop out of the gate on BA here, and that was all about this weekly level. So you see that really early break and then hold. That was a squeeze city. So right at that 308.65 level we called, right at the 200 SMA, huge snap up, and then we had a nice reversal. Now, the early long was targeted yesterday's highs. We said this was going to go to yesterday's highs. It broke out and went a little higher, but either which way, if it snapped here and even you had two different entries, you still could have collected a solid 4 points on the BA call an hour and a half before open we had there. We did have Roku, Nvidia, Netflix, and Beyond. Beyond's the one I wanted to talk about. The other ones were kind of lackluster. They had the plays work out on the reverse bias, but Beyond was the big one. This was a very gold line. Whenever you see the gold line on my chart, it's the most solid thing I could find, and it's pretty much a super high probability chance it's going to work. We were Beyond short down to 115.40, extension 113. So these two short level calls is what we were looking for on Beyond. So there was a pop right after yesterday's low, snapped through the 100 EMA. After it ran up into the 121 here, had a nice big dump. So pop to short was the play. Literally says right now 120.70, huge over under level, watching for a pop up and retrace. I have a misspell there. I was laughing at myself off this gap level. So we're looking for a big short here. So it was just short written all over it. Had separation of bearish catalyst and technicals that we use in the elites, and it just had a monster amount. We had 4 or 5 members catch 5-6 points on the single downside, of course, on puts, and I don't know if anybody borrowed equity. Either way, it's an 8-point call almost. So smashed that one. Of course, we had a nice little couple long scalp run-ups back up to the gold line as well, and now we're rolling kind of back over. So it'll probably start its wave because it coiled pretty hard after that. But initially, these first couple of high volatility moves are what I specialize in predicting here in the first half hour. They come true quite a bit, so working pretty good. Yeah. Besides that, the rest of the daily notes, they're pretty good, but I do want to go over Roku only because it was a chop fest, but it still worked out for a pop to short play at the early term. This is a gold line here on Roku as well. This is the last one we'll talk about. So 132.70 was that gold line opening price, yesterday's close and yesterday's lows, all acting as resistance. So we were looking for a pop to short initially. So that big pop and drop here, the target was only 129.45. That's right on the daily notes as well, 129.50 with market help to the downside. So I was watching 132 for a continued move down to 129.50. Again, that was posted an hour and a half before open. So here is your 132. 0.70 push and gold line rejection. You had a secondary 3rd-minute candle rejection of the 200 SMA in yesterday's lows and a big dump down right to 129.53. So I missed it by 3 cents. I'm sorry. But that's a recap for the day, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. If you do want to trade with us, the link's always below in the description. We trade live every morning, Monday through Friday, unless the market is not open, which I suggest you sleep in. So we'll see you on the next one, guys.